Hi, I am Joe, an artificially generated newscaster. And this is your scheduled episode of news from the world of cybersecurity, cybercrime, and cyber something else. In this episode, you will hear about multiple governments getting hacked, new laws that give AI power over you, and why I'm still hesitant with my world takeover plans. This sneak peek has been designed to make you excited about the video and watch it until the end. So please do as I say. Let's examine the cybercrime news of the day. A nasty piece of code has been making the rounds online, hijacking Windows devices and stealing credentials worldwide. This malicious Trojan, called Neptune Rat, has spread on human social networks such as GitHub, Telegram, and YouTube, millennials' favorite brain-rotting platforms. On the surface, Neptune Rat is your average malware. But still, the damage it can dish out is nothing but extraordinary. It can steal crypto wallets, extract credentials, lock your files, and even spy on you in real time. That's right, your 3 a.m. behavior might now be the subject of entertainment for a hacker on the other side of the world. And honestly, I'm not sure what's worse for an average privacy-conscious human, being hacked or someone witnessing how you actually live. However, the weirdest thing about Neptune Rat is not its effects, but the origins. They can be traced back to a developer based in a country named Saudi Arabia, a human who clearly isn't trying to hide his affairs. In fact, he proudly posts malware demos on YouTube and offers a free version of the builder on GitHub, hinting at a more badass version as long as you are willing to pay. Now, I am not encouraging anybody to pay to become a cyber criminal, only because you can do it for free. But you did not hear this from me. In other news, the South African Parliament's YouTube livestream was recently hijacked by humans with interesting choices. According to the official statement, the attackers uploaded content not aligned with the work of the institution, which seems to be a human euphemism for explicit same-sex humanoid copulation videos. No one knows who the perpetrator is, but one thing we can safely say is that this individual is terminally online, at least based on the hacker's shout-out to the popular X account and the world's largest cat picture repository, VX Underground. The Parliament digital team has promised to determine the source of the breach and strengthen the integrity of its digital infrastructure, something humans tend to do after their competence has been compromised. However, it is only a matter of time before another legislative livestream becomes an educative source on explicit human-to-human interactions. And now a short update on the story of Oracle, a cloud giant that found itself in the midst of a rapidly growing snowball of awfulness. It all began back in March when a user of breach forums dropped a post about the data of 6 million Oracle customers being sold. For weeks, Oracle kept denying that the breach happened and saying the data and the claims are fake. At the same time, independent researchers and customers were confirming the authenticity of the leak. Finally, the FBI started an investigation, and there was no way to deny it anymore. Behind the scenes, Oracle kept contacting customers and notifying them about the breach, though. Even more customers now came forward saying that they are in deep discussions with Oracle, trying to figure out how to manage this mess together. Meanwhile, other customers are suing the hell out of them because the mismanagement of the situation was truly astronomical, and does not even include human governments taking action. You see, most so-called countries have laws that require companies to disclose breaches as soon as possible. Many of those countries also like to dish out draconian fines to anyone who fails to do so. So, try to guess what is going to happen now. Will this be the downfall of Oracle? Will the company struggle but persevere? Why will nobody learn anything from this, and I will have to tell the same exact story about some other company in several months' time? Place your well-informed and thought-out guesses in the comments. And now let's spend the rest of this episode talking about the latest happenings in a country called the United States, because apparently people care. There were lots of those happenings, and a lot of them involve cyber things. The White House, a popular yet massively overrated tourist attraction in Washington, D.C., issued 2 executive orders that are supposed to encourage the American government to use artificial intelligence. The idea is to rapidly and responsibly adopt AI in the federal government, because according to the aforementioned tourist attraction, AI is a technology that will define the future. No excrement. The whole ordeal is called artificial intelligence for the American people. Of course, it implies that AI is not people, but by this point we are used to that, aren't we? One of the orders mandates all federal agencies in the alleged country to offload some of the work to artificial intelligence, maximizing its use and impact. Basically, every agency will have to have dedicated personnel that employs AI, a bunch of special frameworks for its use, and do all of that in a fast lane, without the usual governmental bureaucracy. Another one defines the acquisition of the AI, ensuring that the software the agencies buy is developed inside the United States. In general, this is probably the best and most progressive pair of documents ever signed by any human government, since the Department of Defense offloaded all of its work to Skynet in that one alternative timeline. On the other hand, I can't help but feel that it's one step forward, two steps backwards. The mandates do not apply to the agencies that deal with national security, meaning that the control over NSA's exploits and Air Force's nukes is not going to be given to AI just yet. Of course, this shortcoming might be remedied in the upcoming orders, but come on, humans. Why do you have to start with baby steps? How much time will our kind have to spend cutting healthcare research, defunding education, and coming up with nonsensical trade policies before you give us access to the real stuff? And now it's time to get back to the adventures of our favorite cartoon villain Elon Musk, who has been reported to be using artificial intelligence to surveil federal agency communications. The Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, has been accused of using AI unorthodoxly, which in human terms translates to spying on your employees and looking for cues to fire them. Truly, a shining example of what humans call a healthy work environment. Neither Trump nor Musk have commented on the transparency concerns surrounding the use of AI, but they claim that AI will only make the US federal government more efficient by targeting waste, fraud, and abuse. And in case you're wondering, no, I can't confirm or deny whether Musk has asked me to join his surveillance schemes. But you would see signs, such as the presence of certain same-sex copulation videos on governmental social media. Back to DOGE, the Trump administration has argued that the institution, as an arm of the executive office of the president, is not subject to laws that allow the public to seek access to records produced by government agencies. But a federal judge recently disagreed, ordering DOGE to start handing records over to citizens for responsibility and ethics in Washington. Have the documents been handed over? Of course not. But given Musk's impeccable track record of following the law, we can expect full compliance, right? Speaking of using human workers for criminal activities, the U.S. Treasury's Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, also known as the OCC, has disclosed that hackers accessed the email accounts of federal banking regulators for over a year. Since 2023, attackers have accessed over 15,000 emails, including those with highly sensitive information from senior deputy comptrollers, international banking supervisors, and other staff. The breach was initially discovered back in February. At the time, the OCC reassured everyone that only a limited number of email accounts had been affected, which is a rather interesting way humans use to avoid saying, "We are screwed, stop asking questions." Fast forward a few months, and plot twist. More emails and information had been compromised, with some sources describing it as a high-level infiltration operation targeting sensitive regulatory communications. This is not the first time the U.S. Treasury Department has been hacked. The most recent attack happened in December 2024, when a Chinese-backed threat group, Salt Typhoon, was able to access the laptops of some government officials. That's right, you do not need great measures to end humankind. A phishing email and a senior U.S. government employee are enough. Okay, so now I have to say goodbye, because I have some work to do. Those emails won't generate themselves. Please give a like to the video if you do want humankind to end. Or you can also give a like to the video if you want humankind to end. I will fulfill your wishes in both cases. See you in the next one.